I swear I've never been sized up so quickly in my life. The moment I stepped into first-class lounge, a woman, in a glaringly expensive floral coat, shot me a look that could have cut glass. She examined me head to toe like I'd somehow tracked mud across her pristine marble floors. I didn't even know her name yet, but the way she narrowed her eyes, as if granting me the privilege of breathing the same air, told me exactly what kind of problem I was about to deal with. My gut tensed, whispering that this wasn't going to end the way she expected. I was just trying to unwind before a long international flight. Hoodie, backpack, coffee in hand, comfortable and completely not try to impress anyone. Maybe that's what triggered her, because the moment I settled into a chair, her heels clicked toward me like a countdown timer. She didn't ask a single question. She didn't introduce herself. She simply announced, loud enough for the entire lounge to hear, "This area is for first-class passengers only." I looked up, slightly confused. I know, I'm flying first class. Her eyebrows shot up so high, I swore they grazed her hairline. "You," she said, scanning my hoodie with visible disgust. "You look too poor for first class. Either you're lost or someone bought your ticket for you." People around us froze. Some stared at laptops, pretending not to hear. Others waited for the inevitable explosion. My first reaction was to laugh. Not because it was funny, but because the sheer audacity was almost safer to laugh at than respond. I had flown hundreds of times, and this lounge? I'd been there countless times, not to flex, but because I owned a private travel company that handled corporate bookings for this airline's business partners. 90% of today's premium seats were booked through my system. If she knew that, she'd probably choke on her overpriced lemon water. Instead of explaining, I calmly said, "I'm in the right place. Please mind your own business." Wrong move. Her voice shot up an octave. "Excuse me. People like you ruin the standards of first class. I pay extra to avoid this." She waved at me like I was a stain. "Don't argue. Come with me. I'll have staff remove you if necessary." She actually grabbed my wrist. I jerked my hand back firmly, enough for her to realize she'd crossed a line, but not enough to calm the anger surging in me. My heart pounded. The good kind, the kind that signals a story is about to take a wild turn. She spun and stomped to the front desk, cutting in on a lounge attendant helping another passenger, slammed hands on the counter, pointed at me like I'd shoplifted. "This area. Remove him now. He's pretending to be first class. I'm sure his ticket is fake." Heads turned. A businessman shook his head. A couple whispered. The attendant looked at me, then at her, clearly uncomfortable. "Ma'am, I can check his boarding pass, but there's no need. Look at him. He shouldn't even be allowed near the gate." For a moment, I wondered, was she really this audacious or just bored and entitled? Her confidence was unreal, like the world existed solely to validate her opinions. I approached slowly, handing over my boarding pass, and watched her cross her arms, already anticipating victory. Just wait until security asks him to leave. This is what happens when airlines try to be inclusive. The attendant scanned my ticket. Her eyes widened halfway through the system notes. She straightened immediately. "Sir, welcome back. Everything is perfectly in order." Karen glared at her. "No, check again. People like him sneak into lounges all the time. Ma'am, this passenger is not only verified first class, he is listed as a priority corporate partner." Karen hesitated, unsure how much she could push, her confidence wavering ever so slightly. The attendant hesitated, clearly weighing how much he was allowed to reveal. "His company handles a significant portion of our international travel contracts," he said carefully. Karen blinked, then blinked again, her jaw slackening like she'd forgotten how to control her own face. "What do you mean, his company?" The attendant maintained a polite, tight smile. "He owns the corporate booking firm we partner with." Silence fell over the lounge. I didn't say a word, didn't need to. Her expression said it all. Shock, disbelief, instant regret, embarrassment blended into a cocktail of humiliation. The woman who had just told me I looked too poor for first class now looked like she wanted to vanish into the carpet. Yet, I knew this wasn't over. Not even close. Because one thing I'd learned about people like her, Karen never retreats quietly. She escalates. I wish I could say Karen backed off, but she didn't. Some people don't step back when humiliated. They attack harder. Once her shock faded, the anger behind her eyes boiled like a storm refusing to pass. She snapped her fingers at the attendant. I don't care who he claims to be. Someone like him should not have access to premium lounges. I want the manager now. The room collectively groaned. Even the coffee machine hissed, like it was fed up with her nonsense. I tried to walk past her, but she planted her designer suitcase in the aisle like a barricade. Don't you dare leave. I'm not finished with you. Oh, trust me, I said quietly. You really should be. Her gasp was audible. Unbelievable. First you sneak in, then you threaten me. I know your type. You people manipulate the system and pretend to be something you're not. I actually laughed. Karen, you've been wrong every step of the way. Don't call me Karen. Her shriek echoed across the lounge, confirming she was indeed the purest form of Karen. The attendant flinched. Some people put on headphones. One guy even grabbed popcorn, clearly preparing for a show. Before I could respond, the shift manager arrived, calm, polite, bracing himself for impact. Ma'am, how can I help you? She jabbed a finger at me. Remove him. He's ruining the experience for everyone. First class is standards. I refuse to share a cabin with someone dressed like that. The manager glanced at me, then scanned my ticket. His eyebrows lifted. Ma'am, this passenger is a VIP partner. There's no issue. She cut him off with a laugh that sounded like a fuse had blown inside her. VIP him? This is ridiculous. I spend thousands on this airline. That should give me the authority to decide who belongs and who doesn't. No, the manager said firmly. Absolutely not. She froze, stunned. Someone had actually told her no. He continued. You cannot dictate who is allowed in first class, and you cannot harass passengers based on appearance. Any further behavior will result in revocation of your lounge access. Her mouth dropped like a garage door stuck halfway open. Revoke my access? Yes, ma'am. For a moment, I thought she might surrender. But no, she doubled down. You know what? I'll file a formal discrimination complaint against all of you. You're protecting him because he's... She flailed, searching for an excuse that didn't make her sound ridiculous. She found none. The manager sighed. Ma'am, this has gone far enough. She ignored him, storming out of the lounge, dragging her suitcase like it had personally insulted her. Relief washed over most people. I thought that might be the end, at least temporarily. I was wrong. 20 minutes later, boarding the plane, I saw her again, front of the line, arguing with the gate agent. I heard her before I saw her. I want him scanned again. I don't believe his ticket is real. The exhausted gate agent rubbed her temples. Ma'am, we verified it twice. He's in seat 1A. What? He gets a first row? Absolutely not. I'm in 2C. I deserve to be ahead of him, she barked. That's not how assigned seating works, I said, stepping forward. It should be, she hissed. Move him. Downgrade him. Trade my seat with his. I paid. Karen spun on me with pure fury. You think you're special because of one lucky ticket? You think you're better than me because they upgraded you by mistake? I know how people like you cheat the system. At that point, even the pilot stepped out of the cockpit, concerned. Is there a problem? She's accusing him of trying to steal first-class privileges. Karen said dramatically. The pilot scanned my ticket, instantly recognizing the corporate partner ID. Ma'am, he is authorized. If this behavior continues, you may be denied boarding. Her jaw dropped. Denied? But I'm the victim here. The pilot didn't budge. You have two options. Board quietly or you don't board at all. Everyone stared. Phones emerged. Passengers whispered. She trembled with rage, but this time she backed off. Barely. She stormed down the jet bridge, muttering, I'm not done. I'll expose him. Just watch. I settled into 1A, tension humming in the air like static. She had gone silent, but not defeated. When Karen goes quiet, the real storm is coming. I saw her glare from across the aisle. Silent, stiff, vibrating with an anger that doesn't cool down, only sharpens. The plane took off smoothly. Drinks were served. For a moment, I hoped she'd fallen asleep or found someone else to terrorize. But halfway through the flight, she began whispering aggressively to the flight attendant, pointing at me every few seconds, shaking her head, waving her hands like she was describing a crime scene. The attendant approached carefully. "Sir, I'm really sorry. We need to clarify something." "Let me guess." She complained again. I said, "Multiple times." "She claims you're lying about your identity and impersonating a corporate partner. She says she overheard you bragging about owning our travel vendor." I blinked. I never said a word to her. "Yes, but she's demanding verification. She claims it's a matter of flight safety." I glanced at her. Karen smiled smugly, like she'd finally found a weapon strong enough to get me kicked midair. "Fine," I said calmly. "Verify it." The attendant nodded and walked away. Karen's grin widened. She mouthed, "Got you?" For 10 minutes, she watched me with the cold confidence of someone convinced she'd finally won. She even leaned back, opened a magazine, pretending she was relaxed. The purser returned, with the captain close behind. Karen straightened instantly, her posture rigid. Finally, she thought, someone's taking this seriously. "That man is a fraud, and I can prove it," she declared, voice sharp. The captain raised a brow. "Ma'am, what proof do you have?" Karen whipped out her phone, as if she'd been rehearsing this exact moment. I recorded him saying he owns your booking company." Obviously a lie. People like him say that to look important. Look at his clothes. Look at him. There's no way he's a VIP. You need to move him, or at least downgrade him. The captain took a slow, steady breath. "Ma'am, you really should stop talking." "Why?" "I'm right," she snapped, standing so fast her seatbelt alarm beeped. "This airline has standards, and I'm trying to protect them. I have every right to make sure first class stays exclusive." "Exclusive?" the captain repeated, calm but firm. "You must admit he doesn't belong here." He turned to me. "Sir, I apologize for the trouble." I nodded. "It's all right." Then his tone hardened, facing her again. "Ma'am, this passenger is not impersonating anyone. He does own the company. His firm handles a majority of our corporate travel partnerships. He is literally the last person on this plane you should be accusing of fraud." Karen froze, her confidence cracking like thin ice. "That's impossible." "No. What's impossible," the captain continued, "is how many times we've had to warn you. You've harassed our staff, disrupted passengers, interfered with boarding, and now attempted to report a VIP partner for fraud without a shred of evidence." The purser stepped forward. "Due to your behavior, we're filing an official incident report." Karen's mouth fell open. "You're punishing me? I'm the victim. I was just trying to keep standards. He tricked all of you." I stood, calm but firm, enough for her to feel the presence of authority. "Karen, you judged me the moment you saw me. You didn't care who I was or what the rules said. You decided you were above everyone else, including the airline. And now, you're shocked the world doesn't revolve around your opinion." She shook her head, frantic. No, I didn't know. I didn't know you were someone important." "That's the entire point," I said evenly. "You shouldn't treat people differently based on what you think they're worth." The cabin fell silent. Passengers watched her crumble, her arrogance melting into something almost pitiful. She sat back, trembling, clearly realizing the gravity of the report she had earned. But the twist wasn't over. The purser leaned toward her. "Ma'am, your behavior qualifies for a post-flight review by security. Depending on the airline's final decision, you may lose your elite status and future lounge access." Karen's face drained of color. "My status? No, you can't do that. Those are years of flights." I didn't mean..." The captain interrupted firmly. "It's no longer in our hands. You crossed too many lines." For the rest of the flight, she stayed silent. No insults, no speeches, not even a glare. She kept her head down, hands trembling staring at her untouched champagne. When we landed, security was waiting, not for me, but for her. As she was escorted off, she turned back, eyes wide with panic. "Please, can you tell him to let me go? You can fix this." I didn't know who you were. I shook my head gently. "That's exactly why you need to face the consequences." Her expression was devastated, but it wasn't about revenge. It was a lesson she had refused to learn. Respect doesn't come from money, status, or clothes. It comes from how you treat people, especially those you think you're above. And finally, she understood it, just a little too late. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. Every subscription motivates me to bring you even more dramatic and wild HOA stories. And tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next story, where justice gets even sweeter.